Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Conversations with Coaches. Thank you for joining me today. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Jennifer Tamborski, CEO and Chief Strategist at Virtual Marketing Experts. We're a digital marketing company that works with business owners who really have a desire to make an impact on the world through their courses, coaching, and consulting services. We help them to accelerate their business and scale their impact. So here's the thing. I truly have a belief that coaches have the ability to change the world. And I wanted to have a part in that. So I created this YouTube channel to help get their message out. Today, I'm so excited to have Lesley join us. Lesley, tell us about who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
Okay, hi Jennifer. Thank you very much for having me on today. So I am the Money Mastery business coach, and I help female entrepreneurs better understand their money mind blocks and how those money mind blocks are having an impact on their business and in particular their self-worth. So I start by helping them to understand where those money blocks have come from. And that's a little bit like putting a key in a door, opening to the door to their business and being able to understand how those decisions have impacted their business. And then we go in and we revisit all aspects of their business and create something that reminds them of why they went into business in the first place and help them fall in love with their business all over again.
That is so awesome. And I know money mindset issues are so key in growing your business. So what is a money mindset?
Quite simply, it's the inner conversation we have with ourselves with regards to money. And that conversation started largely when we were children. And it came about as a result, not of how we were with money, but how money was around us. So how our families reacted around money, the things they said about money. So for example, things like money doesn't grow on trees, can't go to the bottom of the garden and shake that money tree. Also, there could be famine and feast in a family, so that you'd have a situation where you had lots of money at the beginning of the month, but towards the end of the month, the food on the table wasn't quite as plentiful, didn't have the variety, or things like clothes, etc. New clothes were restricted to your birthday and Christmas time, or bikes, mobile phones, etc. They didn't come when you wanted them. They only came at special occasions. And it all now goes towards how people feel and respond around money as grown-ups.
Yeah, I think people often forget that our childhood is really what shapes the rest of our lives. And so sometimes those things that seem innocuous as a kid, like it doesn't really show up as a kid, you don't pay attention to it, really does set a pattern in your brain later on in life. So
Absolutely.
tell me, why did you focus on this area of coaching specifically?
Okay, so for me, it's not the only area I focus on. It's literally the starting point. It is the starter for the conversation, because when somebody starts a business, they usually build that business in the image of themselves. And no matter what that person's makeup is, that business will consist of their good bits and their not so good bits. So the money mindset will have an impact on many different aspects of their business. So if I just came along and wanted to speak to them about their branding or their pricing or how they package up their services, that isn't going to help with the inherent issue that they have around money and their attitude to money, particularly as your attitude to money is absolutely linked to your self-value and your self-worth. So if you're struggling with your own self-value, then as a business owner, you're probably going to be playing small. You're not going to want to be putting yourself out there and you're not going to be setting your boundaries particularly clearly. And that plays into how you go about charging for your services, how you go about marketing your services, and actually to whom you market your services. So by starting right at the start, by understanding the impact that money has on your business, because at the end of the day, how you do money is how you do life. And that's absolutely fact for your business. If you're not going into business with the right approach in terms of the value you're providing, then you're going to be doing yourself a disservice, because that business is going to start to become an albatross around your neck. So rather than, at the start of your business, you go, why am I setting up a business? I want to spend more time with my family. I want to be able to do the things that I enjoy doing outside of the office. Well, actually, if you haven't set up your business for the success you want it to have, you're going to be spending more hours in the office, less time with your family, less time doing the things that you love. I help remind a client of why they went into business, what their objectives were, and help them to achieve those objectives.
That is, so it's one of the things I love about coaching the most, right? Is that people come to a coach with a particular problem that they think they have, and it turns out it's something else entirely. And, the coaches are really able to help people see that and make those changes. So when it comes to money mindset and beliefs, can you change your beliefs and your money patterns?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like with lots of things, once you start to have an understanding of why you have the problem, why you have the belief, then you're able to flick that switch and start to view things very, very differently. The way that I describe it to clients is having a growth mindset, having a positive mindset towards money. It's like giving your brain the permission to go and work on the solution for you. So somebody with a negative money mindset would say something like, oh, I'll never earn enough money, or I don't have enough money, or I've got to work so many hours in order to earn enough money. Somebody with a positive money mindset would say, I need to make more money. Let me think of how I can do that. Let's put a plan in place. And what they're saying to their brain there is, come on board, help me find that solution. And it's a little bit like hearing a song on the radio and you can't quite think who is singing that song. Or you're out in the street and you see a face you recognize and you can't quite place who that person is. Go back home, doing something else, making coffee, whatever it might be, and all of a sudden, ping. You remember who was singing that song or who that face was. And that's because you gave your brain permission to be working on that little problem for you without you actually getting actively involved. And it's the same with money mindset. If you have an open mindset, you're giving your brain permission. So what you need to do is to take, and I will say to clients, let's just take one or two negative beliefs that you have to begin with. Write those couple of beliefs down, write down whatever that negative statement is, turn it into a positive statement. So I will never earn enough money. I will find a way to earn more money. I never have enough money in my bank account at the end of the month. At the end of the month, I will have plenty of money left in my bank account. And just create 2 or 3 like that, and every morning and every evening, say those to yourself as an affirmation. And be able to say those to yourself convincingly, because by saying them convincingly, that is when you will start to believe. And where belief leads, the mind will follow. Another little trick I say to my clients is, draw a little stick man or avatar. I'm not a very good drawer, so I do a stick man or a stick person, and give that stick person a name. So it might be No Money Nelly, for example. And next to No Money Nelly, list out all the negative characteristics that negative Nelly has about money. Then draw another little sick person and call it something like abundant Agatha, and give her all the traits as somebody with a positive money mindset would have. And then when you feel a negative mindset coming into your head, say something like, no, negative Nelly, get out. Abundant Agatha is now leading this show. Because by doing that, you're putting a funny spin on it, which is good, but also you are raising your consciousness with regards to that negative belief you're having. And when you have the knowledge, that is when you can do something about it. And everybody has an element of negative money beliefs. It's just how you deal with them. And once you recognize them, you can do something about them.
I love that. I love the spin on the negative Nelly and the abundant Agatha, because you're right. Sometimes we need to be able to do something fun, right? This is incredibly serious work in our life, but you also need to have a fun component to it. And it makes it less, I don't know, maybe less scary when you're talking to somebody.
Exactly. And not only less scary, because a lot of my clients, come to me because they're feeling very down with themselves. They know that something needs to change. They know their business isn't providing for them in the way that they want it to, and they're very down on themselves about it. Well, actually, there's no need for them to be down on themselves, because it's because what's happened to them, how money was around them, that has created the person that they are today. Once they can give themselves the ability to be at peace with what happened in their past, and they understand why they have certain conflicts now with money, and that they have the ability to turn it round. And the biggest part of what I do isn't the money mindset bit, because actually that's almost the easiest bit to fix. It's then utilizing that knowledge to go in and look at the real business components of their business, which for them is the exciting bit. So looking at their brand, looking at their niche, ensuring they have a niche, looking at how they price themselves, how they market themselves, ensuring they understand who their ideal client is and the value proposition they offer out to that client. And that's when the magic happens. And that's when they get really, really excited, because they actually see, by them understanding why they made the decisions they did, and them not having the effect they wanted to, by making little changes in their business, that can have a massive effect. And that's why I like to make it fun, because business shouldn't always be serious. If somebody said to me a few weeks ago, if you're not having fun, you're paying too high a price. And that is a real wake-up call, I think, to everybody. Business should never be boring. Yes, it'll have serious elements, but we should always be trying to make it as much fun as possible, because that's when we get the most enjoyment.
That is so true. And that statement just gave me goosebumps. You are so right. If you're not...
It wasn't mine. It was somebody I actually heard, and I agree. It gave me goosebumps as well.
Yeah. Hi. So how do you work with your clients?
So I work in a number of ways, basically. At the moment, it's all on a one-to-one basis, but via Zoom, obviously. I either offer VIP days, so single days where we focus on a specific outcome, or a 90-day, a 6-month or a 12-month program, depending on what the client wants to achieve, how much support they want, and how much they want the ability to implement, and then feedback on that implementation. But some clients just want, a short, sharp discussion, basically. So I have a workshop environment where I will lead them through a series of activities depending on what they want to achieve. So it could be money mindset, it could be looking really strategically how they price themselves. And I also offer something called Business in a Box as well, that gives them the chance to unpick a number of elements in their business where they feel they're not having the most impact, basically. And then later on this year, I'm going to be launching a group program as well, where we all have the opportunity to learn from each other. So there will be some teaching from myself, some coaching, and also the opportunity to network, because I think that's so important at the moment, to network and also learn from each other. Because I think, you know, as people running our own businesses, particularly having gone through what we've gone through, to be able to share that experience together as well, really offers an additional level of magic that you won't necessarily get on a one-to-one basis. So I think it's towards the end of November, that's coming out, and that'll be a group program.
That's incredibly exciting. I'm excited to find out more about your group program. So for our audience that want to get a hold of you, what's a good way for them to do that?
Okay, so all sorts of ways. Directly to me, my email address would be leslie@lesleyathomas.com. My website is www.lesleyathomas.com, bit of a theme there. On Instagram, I am the Money Mastery Business Coach. On Facebook, I am Lesley Thomas, the Money Mastery Business Coach. And on LinkedIn, I'm Lesley-Thomas.
Awesome. I will put those links in our show notes below so you are able to reach out to Lesley, which I would highly encourage. If you even have an inkling that you have a money mindset issue, Lesley would be a great starting point. So I think we're about done with our show today. And I just wanted to thank you, Lesley, for coming on and sharing your tips with our audience, really how to adjust their money mindset. We know it's the starting point of really growing your business.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And I look forward to seeing you next time.